Good morning, Mr. Bird. My name is Dr. Daniel Loomis. How are you this morning?
Splendid. Wait, did you say Loomis? Are you related to...
Dr. Samuel Loomis, yes. He was my grandfather.
The resemblance is almost uncanny. Sorry for your loss. What can I do for you, Doc?
I'm here because I want to help clear your name, to help people understand that he is real.
Look, I've been here for years, accused of murdering people that I don't even know. Accused and sentenced to life, without parole, under psychiatric watch, because people don't believe in the boogeyman. I was there. I know. I know who he is. I know what he is.
What is he, Mr. Bird?
Evil. Purely, simply evil. Hey, what's going on, my specialist SPC here, and welcome to my Halloween review series. I've got to tell you guys, I have been waiting almost an entire year to do this. I wanted to do this review series last year for Halloween Kills, but instead I decided, since this is the final Halloween movie, I figured let's just wait until next year. And for the next 4 weeks, I am going to be reviewing each and every single Halloween film, and I'm even going to re-review Halloween Kills towards the end. So, should be a fun and interesting time doing this review series, because I gotta be completely honest with you guys, Halloween is my favorite horror franchise of all time. My second favorite movie franchise of all time. And I'll be honest, Michael Myers is not only just one of my favorite horror icons of all time, actually my favorite horror icon, but just one of my favorite overall movie characters of all time. And of course, guys, where else can you start a review series than with the classic John Carpenter's Halloween? So this film was made very low budget. This was only a $300,000 production that they did in less than a month. And I'm surprised with how just super low budget this is and how long it took them to do this. This film is honestly flawless to me, to a degree. Normally when I do reviews, you guys, I usually try to do what I liked, what I mixed on, what I don't like. I gotta be honest, there's only one thing that I have any sort of a nitpick with, so I'm not gonna be doing my normal thing, because I'm gonna just tell you guys right now, to me this is honestly, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. And I honestly don't have many problems with it. This is just a very minor nitpick. The only thing that kind of still bothers me a bit with this film, every once in a while when I watch it, is just the acting of PJ Soles and Nancy Loomis at the time. They don't really seem too believable at time. They just really seem like they're trying to force their dialogue out, so it really just doesn't feel natural. And like I said, you guys, that's really the only nitpick I have. Other than that, I want to kind of keep this a little short, because, I mean, what can you say that hasn't been said about John Carpenter's Halloween? Like, it's one of the greatest horror films of all time. One of the greatest slasher films. Just one of John Carpenter's best films he's ever done. First of all, you just got to talk about the story overall. 6-year-old Michael Myers just randomly one Halloween night on 1963, walks up to his sister's bedroom and stabs her to death. 15 years later, he breaks out, no motive at all, goes and starts stalking babysitters and starts killing people for whatever reason. To me, it's a scary enough story because it seems like a very believable story. This is the most believable of all the Halloween films because while it's just a guy in a mask, it's effective enough when you get him hiding in the shadows at certain points throughout the film. When you just see him standing behind a hedge, you walk closer and he's just mysteriously gone. You can just look outside your window and just see a dark silhouette of a man just sitting there, and it's effective enough to just see the outline of him. To me, there is nobody scarier than Michael Myers. You know, you got your guys who thinks Freddy's scary, Chucky, Ghostface, Jason. You got all of them iconic characters who are scary to their own right. But to me, Michael is just the epitome of evil. And Dr. Loomis, in his most infamous lines he's ever said in this entire franchise.
I met him 15 years ago. I was told there was nothing left. No reason, no conscience, no understanding, and even the most rudimentary sense of life or death, of good or evil, right or wrong. I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
Entire speech just chills you to your core listening to him. When all he has to do is sit there and describe Michael, how there's nothing to him except pure and simple evil. Next thing you really got to talk about too, I mean, the most iconic thing besides Myers in the film is the amazing score, also made by John Carpenter. A little kid can hear this theme, the iconic Halloween theme, and they'll know exactly where it is from. Like, to me, this is just one of the most iconic movie scores of all time, besides, for me personally, up there with like Jurassic Park and Star Wars and all that stuff. The Halloween score itself, it might have been redone a lot of times in each of these films, but it still is effective enough. When you mix everything together, when you mix Michael Myers, when you mix the cinematography, the darkness, the lighting, Dr. Loomis's speech, Myers himself, when you mix all this together, it's hard not to get scared. It's hard not to get engrossed into this film. Honestly, two characters as well, you know, again, Dr. Loomis, to me personally, very much tied with Myers being the best character in this entire franchise. He continues throughout up until Halloween 6, which of course obviously we'll talk about that when we get to it. You got Sheriff Brackett. You of course got Laurie Strode, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, in her debut as an actress. Again too, you know, you got Linda and Annie. Character-wise, they're not bad. Acting-wise, they're a little stale, like I said earlier. You also got Tommy Doyle. You also got Lindsay Wallace. I mean, obviously, you know, when the horror starts, when Myers starts going and starts killing everybody, those are the people you fear for the most because, of course, they're children. And another huge reason why I love this film so much, why I love Michael Myers so much, because he is the horror icon who has followed me into my dreams. I will even say, still to this day, he still occasionally haunts my dreams. If I sit here late at night and I watch the original Halloween or any of the other Halloween films, there are times, I will say it willingly, I can look over in a dark corner and I don't know if Myers is there. It's just the effectiveness this character has on me personally. Pacing is great. The ending is so ambiguous, you don't actually know what happens with Myers, if he was literally just this entity, this supernatural being, or if he really just is pure evil and he can just withstand anything. Because of course you got Loomis, who shoots him 6 times in the chest. He falls down. Loomis turns around, talks to Laurie. goes back over, and he is just gone. Of course, obviously, 2018 and Halloween Kills kind of retcon that and kind of show us what exactly happens with Myers. Honestly, though, you guys, I could just sit here and gush over this film, but again, what can you say that hasn't been said about John Carpenter's Halloween already? It is honestly one of his best films. It's one of the best horror films, one of the best slasher films. It's one of my favorite films personally. And honestly, to me, it's just a masterpiece of horror. So that is obviously why I am going to give John Carpenter's Halloween a 5 out of 5. So that is going to do it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this review. Again, I would have talked a little more, but again, you're just going to hear the same things that everybody else has said and gushed about this film over the years. Make sure you guys stay tuned for the remainder of the Halloween review series. If you guys are new and you do like these reviews, please consider subscribing, because we are going to be cranking out a Halloween content here over the next handful of weeks. So make sure you guys stick around, hit that notification bell. And with that being said, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one.